of the preliminary round, and CIGNAL is still standing tall. On the other hand, only Creamline can control their destiny. Will the dream stay alive, or will supremacy prevail? Find out only here in the PVL, the heart of volleyball.
Step aside, I own this night. 차가운 시선도 out of sight. Pulse in my vein, it's electric gold. 내 불빛은 never cold. Light it up, no turning back. 세상 내 무대 track. 숨길 수 없어 내 vibe, so real the energy you gonna feel. I'm invincible, nothing can break me. Limitless flow, don't try to chase me. Crash like a wave, wild and free. 이 무대 위, I'm all you see. Invincible, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Invincible, na 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 na. Na 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 na. 되지 않아.
It's a busy day here at the arena in San Juan. Volleyball Central triple header. We started with Capital One winning against Galleries in 4 sets, and then just a couple of minutes back, Farm Fresh makes it official as they win against Sakari also in 4 sets. That sets up this big one on day number 22. The CIGNAL Super Spikers, the Creamline Cool Smashers. It's always entertaining when it's these two champion teams, or championship caliber teams, championship contending teams. It is match number 45 to be official for your PVL All-Filipino Conference. Thank you very much for checking us out on One Sports and the Pilipinas live app. Boom Gonzalez, Neil Flores, Franny Reyes, who told us that it is the end of the preliminary round. Just like that, 44 matches have been played. And Neil, after that 44th match, some clarity in our team standings.
We actually verified some information with
Yes.
our commissioner, Sherwin Malonzo, to give the fans a better picture also of our team standings. If Creamline wins today against the CIGNAL Super Spikers, they will take rank number 3. Farm Fresh will be in the 4th spot. If Creamline loses in 3 to 4 sets, babagsak sila to number 6, aangat yung next sled to the 4th spot. And if the Creamline Cool Smashers lose in 5 sets, number 5 sila and number 4 yung next sled. So it will really depend on their performance today.
And then we will remind them as we go along, Neil and Franny, in terms of these scenarios for those who are going to come in and watch us throughout this program and throughout this game through One Sports and, of course, on the Pilipinas Live app. Well, we are there too.
That's right. I mean, it's not just the last game of the preliminary round. It's also a CIGNAL and Creamline match. And, you know, there's always a lot to look forward to, particularly the premier matchup from 2 setters we haven't seen face each other in a while. So our Pilipinas Live question for this game is, which setter will steer her team to a win? Is it Jel Cayuna of CIGNAL Super Spikers? Or is it Gia de Guzman of the Creamline Cool Smashers? Let us know on the Pilipinas Live app or using the hashtag PVL2026.
Why not talk about them, Neil, and the value of these two premier setters in our premier matchup who have multiple best-setting awards.
I'm looking forward to this matchup because they have similar styles of play. They love playing around with speed. These are 2 of the most decorated setters in the PVL. 8-time best setter Gia de Guzman, 4-time best setter in Jel Cayuna. Gia de Guzman is the number 1 setter right now in the league, and this is just her first conference back. Jel Cayuna is number 3, but she is the best scoring setter. So we know that she's very aggressive up front, so she can also score a lot of attack points for the Super Spikers.
8-time best setter, 4-time best setter. Banggit na rin natin while we're talking about these numbers and dishing it out. Kyle Negrito is also a 4-time best setter, and she's also for sure going to be seeing some floor time here. So we have a lot of premier setters here at the arena today here at Volleyball Central. We're going to see action from them, most especially in this ball game. And when you talk about Chel Cayuna, one of the players who's really benefiting from that efficient setting, Neil, is Vanny Gandler.
That's correct. This is probably her best conference to date in her young professional career as a super spiker. Just in the last 2 games, she was able to average 20 points mahigit, 20 against Zeus Coffee, 23 against Capital One. And yung efficiency niya, she has improved that aspect about her game. She has also improved in passing efficiency. So we are seeing a different Vanny Gandler this conference.
Oh, hindi pa natin nakikita yung passing efficiency. We were talking about that, Franny, in our production.
I like efficiency as a way to describe Vanny because she actually said that's something she still wants to improve this conference. And we've seen Vanny grow, and she's really highlighted mental toughness as the reason for this growth. She really wants to keep improving. She wants to keep becoming a better player. And she also highlights that it's really the Signal environment. Now, the way that we see them playing right now, that is the result of all the hard work this team has put into their practice, into aligning themselves to one goal. And Vanny said that, you know, they're not the flashiest team, but what you see right now is because they work really hard to get here, and we can expect even more from the Signal Super Spikers. Now, we are used to seeing Vanny and Jel in the core of Signal, and I do want to talk about the Creamline Cool Smashers first, Boom and Neil, because we won't be seeing that familiar core in tonight's game. Bernadette Pons and Gemma Galanza will not be playing due to recovering from their knee injuries. However, Eliza Valdez will be starting alongside Deej Rodriguez, and I do want to highlight Deej Rodriguez. Now, you know, she is a decorated volleyball player, and she said that she's really opened herself or really accepted whatever role she's given, whatever reason she's put inside the court. Deej told me that whether she gets to play or not, she knows how strongly everyone believes in her. At malaking kawalan talaga ang Pons, ang Galanza sa team, and that's why it's on her to be that all-arounder, to fill in that gap that they're leaving. And it should be an exciting game for us to watch Rodriguez tonight.
Neil, what is your take on Deej Rodriguez, who a lot of people think is kind of like in the mold of Bernadette Pons?
I think it's very easy to be part of the Cool Smashers team kasi parang plug and play. You have a lot of seasoned teammates that will guide you. And as an attacker, you have Gia de Guzman as your setter. So all you need to worry about is to choose the best angles every time you're given a set. She did score 8 points versus Farm Fresh, and unlaking kawalan definitely ni Bernadette Pons and Gemma Galanza because these are 2 of the best receivers
Defenders,
of Creamline.
right? Yeah.
So that is something that we are going to look at sa performance in Deej Rodriguez today. More than the points, it's the passing that will help her team today.
So no Gemma, no Bernadette again for them for the second straight game. So all hands on deck for Creamline to avoid something that has never happened to them, and that is lose 3 in a row, Neil. It is an unbelievable run that Creamline is on from a conference standpoint.
I can't even remember when was the last time they were in this position.
Yeah.
We're used to seeing Creamline at the top of our standings. But you know, the other teams also level up their game. That's why they're in this situation. But that was still a good record that they were able to build. 5-3. They have a chance to go 6-3 if they win against Signal. But they have to be able to control the things that they can control. Kasi pag nanalo sila, dun talaga sila papasok sa next round.
And it's not going to be easy, Neil and Franny, because Signal is on fire. They're on a run. They're very confident, and they want to keep it rolling for them. And speaking of Signal, we have a really nice package prepared for you, Tintiam Zon. Of course, Ishi Lalong Isip will be talking to you in a bit. But first, we'll take a break after that. And then Franny, Neil, myself, all of these girls behind us, we're going to go into a war right now in the last game of our triple header here at the arena in San Juan.
Kilala ko na!
Galingan mo.
Kilala ko na!
Matik na yun.
It's me, myself, and I. Hi, I'm Ishi Lalong Isip.
And I'm Tintiam Son.
And this is What's the Sitch? Who from the team gives the best advice? Ate Don?
Oh! Si Ate Don
Sabagay.
is my second.
Okay,
Si Ate G talaga super yung kanyang experience
Maturity.
and maturity and seniority talaga.
Pwede naman si Ate Don, di ba?
Oo,
Okay.
0.5. Who would you trust to score the game-winning point?
Game-winning point. Okay.
I have 2 choices. Vanny.
Yeah!
Si Vanny.
Ate Vani. Pwede rin si Ate Erika.
That's why sabi ko.
Kasi
to
pag mga
ano.
out of system,
Yes.
more on, outside. Who from the team would you trust to receive a crucial serve?
Matik! Matik na yun!
Ate Donnie or Ate Don?
You can always trust Ate Don on the floor.
Lalo na pag crucial, no?
Yes!
Hinig ng hinig.
Walang
Chill.
lalapag.
No chill.
Who from the team would make the best coach?
Kilala ko na.
Galingan mo.
Parang ito na talaga yung future niya.
Yes.
Sinisimulan niya na ngayon.
Yes.
Sinahula
Si
mo.
Ate Giselle C.
Yay! Tama!
Okay.
Abangan nyo guys, pag di na siya naglalaro.
Yes.
Pumapalo na siya sa court.
Makita mo na lang siya naka-signal jacket.
Which teammate would you trust to take your IG photos? Kilala ko na to.
Dapat lang.
It's me, myself, and I. Tama!
Yes.
O, di ba? Totoo yan kasi may in-upload siya ako nag-picture.
Siya yung nagpicture.
Diba?
I love it.
Galaw-galaw ka lang dyan.
Yes.
Very candid, very aesthetic. Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to San Juan City. This is the final game of the preliminary round for the 2026 All-Filipino Conference of the Premier Volleyball League. Match number 45 features the CIGNAL Super Spikers and their opponents, the Creamline Cool Smashers. Introducing the two national referees officiating this match. Our first referee is Patrick Alan Castillo. Second referee, Fernando Velarde. Let's now meet the starters. First, for the CIGNAL Super Spikers. Middle blocker number 2, Rose Doria Aquino. Outside spiker number 5, Benny Gandler. Another outside hitter number 6, Ishi Lalong Isid. Opposite hitter number 8, Erica Santos. Middle blocker number 11, Jackie Acuna. And starting center is number 22, Jel Cayuna. Starting libero, team captain number 16, Don Catintig. The head coach for CIGNAL is Shaq De Los Santos. And now the starters for the Creamline Cool Smashers. Outside spiker number 2, team captain Alyssa Valdez. Another outside hitter number 4, Dich Rodriguez. Middle blocker number 6, Pangs Panaga. Center number 12, Gia De Guzman. Middle blocker number 14, Bea De Leon. And opposite hitter number 18, Tots Carlos. Starting libero number 22, Jen Yerba. The head coach for Creamline is Sherwin Meneses. This match is held under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board. It is CIGNAL versus Creamline. This is the...
Starters on your screens for the CIGNAL Super Spikers at 6 and 2 here in the PVL. Ishi is there. Jackie and Rose, and the tall girls from CIGNAL. And of course, as we know, no Gemma, no Bernadette Pons, Didge, as we mentioned, will start. Tots Carlos, Bea De Leon, Alyssa Valdez, and of course the returning, nabina rin natin, Sherwin Meneses. No Gemma, no Pons, but Sherwin Meneses is back from his battle with being under the weather. Here we go. Match number 45, and an all-important one. Will get you up to speed again on the scenarios in just a bit. But first, Eliza sends it over for a free ball for Signal to attack. It's Santos going for the swipe and first blood.
I have a strong feeling that Signal will really deliver a lot of heavy serves towards the side of the Cool Smashers. They know that Bernadette Pons and Gemma Galanza are two of their best receivers, and they're currently not playing. So that is going to be the task for Dich Rodriguez and Eliza Valdez to pass that ball to Gia de Guzman. Doesn't need to be perfect, as Gia already mentioned before. As long as it's settable, she can work her magic.
It doesn't have to be perfect. But 2 straight times they go to Dich Rodriguez, as you mentioned, Neil. So Jen Nierva is sticking close to her to help her out. But Dich again with another faulty receive. And that plays with your head in a big crowd like this, Neil.
Jelka Yuna is the best server on the side of Signal. That's why while she's in the service line, they can make a run.
Nierva this time receiving. Carlos open. Off the soft block. Sent back. Vanny from behind. Gia opens up to Tots. Off the rebound again. First point for Creamline. What a crowd today, by the way. Not just for this game. The Akari Farm Fresh game. Capital, of course, earlier. Galleries. What a great day for the PVL. Very busy day. Also for Coach Shaq, who ran from Araneta. Well, not literally ran, but you know what I mean. From Araneta with a 4-set win with UST today.
That's a tough schedule for Coach Shaq, because it's different coaching a collegiate team. You would have to shift your style pag nasa PVL ka. One sails outside. That's an error for Tots Carlos.
He had less time than Neil Flores, who was first game this morning. First time out.
Hanggat maaari, gawa natin ang paraan. Okay? Huwag dapat mag-error. Laban lang, laban. Let's go, girls! One, Creamline!
Not the kind of start by a team who is trying to avoid a very first 3-game slide in a conference, okay? We're talking about within a conference. The only 3-game losing streak they have came across different conferences. Lost the last 2 games of the reinforced conference last year, a 5-setter against Signal, and then their quarterfinals matchup against Petrogas. And they opened the conference, this one, with a loss to PLDT. So yun yung 3-game losing streak nila. As Vanny Gandler scrapes the net.
You can feel the nerves from the Creamline side in terms of passing. You haven't seen an A pass in the past 7 sequences for the Cool Smashers. Mostly it has been out of system. Right, sets towards the right side, but now Eliza Valdez is in the front row. So that's also an adjustment that they can make. Pag meron nahihirapan on the pass, Jen Nierva can get a bigger zone.
Right. No touch. And Patrick Castillo awards a point to Signal, who has not only been a great attacking team this conference, they're second in the league. That's obviously a category or a statistic that Creamline usually is the best at. They're not there right now in the top 3. They are top 4. But the point I wanted to make, Neil, was Signal's also improved in their blocking in this conference, as they are, you know, back then they would never be in the top 3. They're 3rd here.
But they've always been a good defensive team. They have a good middle blocker rotation also. Jackie Acuna and Roselyn Doria.
Tim, I think you can tell from the crowd that it is in.
Point number 2 for Eliza Valdez. Since they will be missing the numbers of Bernadette Pons and Gemma Galanza, someone has to score more. Can be Tots Carlos, can be Eliza Valdez.
Off the rebound. Lai sent back. Doug.
Boy, you can hear the crowd every single point here inside the venue.
I was just about to say that Signal is going to battle the team and the crowd at the same time, even as the rallies are going on, Neil.
You have to tune out the noise from the fans so that they can focus.
That's 3-0 run prior to that service error.
Signal can also play loose today. There's less pressure on them,
That's a good
definitely,
point.
because they were the second team who secured their slot
In the
in the
top 4.
qualifying round. Yeah, the top 4.
Yep.
So, next led ang nag-aabang sa
Yes.
resulta ng game na to.
They're definitely watching this game. 3 points for Maldo. Biggest lead was 4. It has now been cut to 1. Erica with the push. The scratch on the ball. Chance to counter. Didge puts it away.
That's why she's in the starting unit. Coming from beach volleyball, yung conditioning niya is spot on, so she can really compete against an agile team like the Signal Super Spikers.
All in all, it's been a 5-1 run, Neil. They continue to target lalong isip. That's in! Just enough wrist action from Danny to get that ball down the line.
San Juan City is filled with fans to see their favorite volleyball players. And All-Star Day is coming up on May 1, so don't forget to vote on pvl.ph/All-Star for your favorite All-Stars and catch them all on the Pilipinas Live app. Now, speaking of stars, let's talk about Dawn Katindig. There's something she told me earlier that I think we should pay attention to. Signal's potential has materialized. They used to only ever talk about potential, but they really feel like it's come together in this conference. It's the way that they play, the way that they calm themselves, and it's the way that they play with each other. Now, Dawn did tell me that tonight's match will come down to execution of game plan and in-game adjustments, because that's just how good our two teams are, Neil.
Agree 100%. And the crowd behind you and around you, Franny, has been appreciating the high-octane action here at Volleyball Central, PDL. Jackie Acuna on the run.
Signal doesn't need to worry about the two-hitter rotation because that short slide has been one of the most lethal attack points of the Super Spikers throughout the preliminary round. Nobody has cracked that code. Ang hirap timing nun, especially when it's a tall middle blocker running that play.
Again, the target is Didge. Chance to counter. Doria with a push, easily taken by Tots. That's out.
Creamline is asking for a block touch.
Sherwin is asking, but his players are telling him, nope, don't challenge it anymore. I thought, tell me if I'm wrong, but Didge doesn't like it when it's that close to the net, Neil. Well, hindi naman doesn't like it, but less comfortable.
Yeah, most of the attackers now prefer some distance para makapili sila ng magandang angulo.
Good job by Nierva. That's the distance she likes. Gel goes pipe. Oh, nice dig by Lai. Great exchange here so far. Lalong isip. A long rally alert. Another one here for Signal. Ooh, way underneath the ball. But Lalong isip says Gian de Guzman touched the ball. And Ishii is begging Coach Shaq to call for a challenge, but they're not going to get it. Oh, there it is.
Block touch challenge.
Ay, hindi. Coach Shaq is recalling it. He's waving it off, rather. Waving it off. Danny over-receives it. Patrick Castillo awards the point. Lai disagrees. Let's listen in.
Sabay kasi mag-jazz, sabay. So, kanina lumabas sa kanya ibibigay.
Okay po, pero kasi ref yung sa clarify lang namin, nag-over yung bola.
Yeah.
Tapos umatake kami, tapos nag-block siya.
Okay na, Kap. Sabay.
Anong tawag po? Check ball na niya.
No. Ang Jaws. Kung kanina lumabas sa kanila ang bola.
Jaws kung ano.
Simultaneous hit yun, coach. Simultaneous hit, sabay. So, last time.
How about we settle it with a challenge then?
The last touch challenge.
Last touch challenge.
You can only challenge that pag joust.
Coach Shaq is...
Yes, 8 seconds, pero nagka-clarify pa si Captain. Diba? Nagka-clarify pa si Captain. Kaya yun.
Coach Shaq is saying they took too long.
Yes, 8 seconds, pero may clarify.
The other side of the coin.
Yeah.
8 seconds lang binibigay sa isang team to push the challenge button. But the first referee was explaining that Eliza Valdez was still clarifying that call because they wanted to determine kung ano ba yung challenge card na itataas nila.
This is how important this match is, Neil. You know, I guess we set that frame from the jump of how important this one is for Creamline, for next led, more than it is for the Signal Super Spikers, who are sitting pretty at number 2 and safely in the top 4. Next led is at 5-4. Akari goes down. Creamline is waiting, of course, after this match, but it is that win at Farm Fresh that catapulted them into top 4, Neil.
That's why it's important to win your games and not rely on the results of the other matches. For Creamline, we already mentioned the scenarios a while ago. A win today will give them the 3rd spot. Farm Fresh will hold the 4th spot. If they lose in 3 to 4 sets, bababa sila to number 6, aangat yung next led. If they lose in 5 sets, they will slide to the 5th place, aangat pa rin yung next led.
Next led. Now again, Signal, safe in the top 4, obviously at number 2. As we look at this settlement of the challenge and the joust. But if you're Signal, you just don't want to give away games. You're sharp. You're playing so sharp also, Neil.
And I think they can also finish in the top
Number
spot.
Number 1.
In terms of points, isa lang yung lamang ng PLDT. So if they win this in 3 or 4 sets, they would take that first spot.
So the point eventually will still go to the Signal Super Spikers. And here's the explanation from Patrick.
May simultaneous siya. May pa-exercise simultaneous siya.
Contentious point.
Oo, siya po yung tinawag ng referee na clarify lang po.
Pinaliwanag ba?
Coach Eliza also shouting. When I say shouting, because maingay, shouting at Coach Shaq, saying that she's clarifying.
That is fine. A point will be awarded to the Super Spikers. That call will stick. Signal will hold on to a 2-point lead here in the first set.
11, serving 9. Cayuna made some damage earlier. Better reception there by Didge. Oh! And a high ball. Still able to drop.
She's going to a variety of hits here in the first set. She has been shifting sides from the left side to the right side. Using a lot of spin in her hits. Tapos meron ding soft touches and powerful swings. That is out for Eric Santos.
Tied again at 11. The other point here is when you look at this lineup for both for both teams, and you just look at the players. Oh, what a save! And a giveaway! And after all that, Creamline still takes the point.
That's one for the highlight. Real hustle play from the Pool Smashers.
Look at that. Get a hand on it. That's where all the drills come in, Neil.
Signal paid for that overpass.
3-0 run. Broken by Ishii. I was about to say, Neil, despite, you know, obviously the importance of the game, but you look at the players on the floor, look at the quality of the players. Walang bibigay ng puntos dyan. Walang magbibigay ng laro dyan.
Hindi nga atake yung inaabangan ko sa match na to. It's the floor defense of both teams.
A slide by Cayuna. Santos. Dug by Didge. Live flies.
Cortez has been active. There's a game na kailangan siya umabot sa 20 points mahigit. It would be this game.
Maybe this is what she's waiting for also. Look at that face. Look at that reaction. You know she wants this. 13-12. Remember, they were down 4 earlier. That's a better attack, the cleanest attack by Vanny Gandler so far.
Zone 5 is good for Vanny Gandler.
It's good cut.
Just her overall game is on another level itong confidence. I also agree that this is her best confidence to date in the PVL.
Oh! Aided by the net. PDL gets a point. We knew we were going to get fireworks for this match, Neil. Well, we're getting it as advertised. First time, by the way, that Gia and Jel are going to meet each other since Gia's been gone. Danny sends it over. It's back with Creamline.
Oh, what a set. Wow. How is she able to set that ball to the left side? That's just impressive body control from Gia de Guzman.
Without an error, without an infraction, without even proper balance. Oh, look at Don. Get that in play. Danny flies. Too low. It's a little bit ambitious for Jel Cayuna to still go for the running attack. It is 16-13 Creamline. It is loud in here. And I think the fans of Creamline, Neil, knew how they could help in this game that matters so much to the Creamline Cool Smashers, regardless of whether it's from a team standpoint, team standing standpoint, or even their own franchise history standpoint of not dropping 3 games in a row.
Hindi nyo nagagawa ng adrenaline when you know the crowd is supporting you.
And on the other side, Neil, iba rin ang nag-epekto sa mga ibang teams yan. As Gandler continues to attack. Of course, Signal has seen it all na rin naman dito sa PVL. It's not like they're facing this kind of an atmosphere for the very first time.
So for every time Creamline has their own mini run going on there, it's Gandler getting break points for the Super Spikers.
Thoughts? Spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng bayan.
These are the 2 players that will carry the offense for the Cool Smashers.
Over-received. But it's back with them. Set back. Gel. Balik kay Bani. No coverage!
Gandler checked at the net. That was a high return for Signal, pero nagkatinginan si Don Katindig and Ishi lalong isip.
What once was a 4-point deficit is now a 4-point lead for Creamline.
Lipat or back. Okay. Establish lang sila. Ganun lang sila ng gano'n. Hindi tayo maalis dyan. Pwede yan. Pwede doon. O kaya mag-backrow tayo. Pwede. Okay, ha? O sige. Dapat lang. 1 point at a time lang. 1 point at a time lang. Ha? Tsaga, ha?
natin sa pasal. Ay, huwag natin kalimutin yung strength natin. Strength natin, okay? Okay? So kung good enough yung pass, pasok pa rin tayo. Para makawat tayo. Okay, let's go! Signal! Super!
Miko Halili, Sherwin Malonzo, Sir Ricky Palu. All in attendance for this marquee matchup.
Serving 14.
Jel Cayuna has to loosen up the blocking of Creamline because right now the blockers are compressing dito sa side ni Gandler, lalo na pag nasa 2-hitter rotation yung Super Spikers. So this is the time for her to go to Erica Santos on that D-ball or pwede rin pipe attack just to split or delay the block of the Cool Smashers.
That's a normal target for, not just for Signal, a lot of teams target Eliza. Today it will be Eliza or Ditch that will receive a lot of these loaded serves. 2 straight points by Signal.
That's how Signal started this set. They're hoping to get more points from the service line.
Ditch able to adjust.
It's like a plug-and-play thing for Ditch Rodriguez. She's no stranger naman dito sa roster ng Creamline. Rose Vargas will replace Bea De Leon on the service deck.
Serve and sweep. That's going to be the job for the former FEU standout. Lalong isip is denied.
Again, double block, well established. Blocking has been systematic for Creamline. They know the tendencies of Signal. They're not even committing to the middle blockers.
And maybe this is what Signal needs. Little change of pace, change of strategy, double sub, Tiamzon, C.
3 attackers up front for Coach Shaq De Los Santos.
C will be the one orchestrating. Ito yung sinasabi ni Neil.
That is really the way to get past the block of the Cool Smashers. Sabi rin kanina ni Don Katindig, their strength is in their combination plays. They have a lot. And they're one of the teams that is very confident running those slides sa middle nila. May slide, pwede rin pipe. Ang dami, sobrang daming choices for Jel Cayuna and Giselle C.
And pinaka-efficient attacker nila pagdating sa pipe is Danny Gandler. De Guzman's fingers today has been cooking. He's so
Hitting
creative.
them right. And hindi pa nga kalakasan yung mga palo from the middles of Creamline, but they still convert those sets into points.
Gani from behind. Easily taken by Gia. Dawn with a dive. Baba, pero gumulong. Sorry, Tots. That's point number 3.
That's what happens pag binitawan ng middle blocker, yung double block. Mas malaki yung zones na babantayan ni Vanny Gandler.
Hindi na niya inabot. Timeout, Coach Shaq.
Mahilig sila, di ba, mabilis. Huwag tayo basta tataas. Kailangan dukot lang. Kasi pinibilisan lang.
Yeah. And then, compose lang sa neck. Di panic po. Just compose lang.
Tingnan lang ulit. Recover lang. Kaya minsan lumulusot sa atin. Oo, tayo hindi nakapagod. Kasi pinatras sa lang. Prasada lang, kalma lang. Sigal! Super!
So Coach Shaq, for the second time this conference, had to scoot from a UAB venue and a UAB win to his team here in the PVL. He did that against FEU the last time out, March 14. He came to the arena here in San Juan, winning against Capital One in 3 sets. Today, his team UST winning in 4. Now they are down by 5 here in set 1. Dawn receives. The slide by Valdez. Tots ready to fire. Encarnacion is picked up. That's a touch by Jewel, I believe, yes. Caught by Fernando Vilarte, her down referee.
Creamline started really slow in this first set by committing multiple shank passes, but now they're in control and they're up by 6.
Team that is desperate for a win today to keep themselves in top 4 position. Creamline Cool Smashers. Losing Gemma Galanzo averages 14.3 points. And Bernadette Ponce averages 17.6 points. Both in 6 games, of course.
Michelle Bumaba will be playing as their opposite. Try to put the finishing touches here in the first.
Right. 6 of the 8 games, of course. And you talk about plug and play. Michelle's ready to go always. Doug. It's a tough pass. And another opportunity here. Michelle adjusting. Dawn to Erica. Denied! Oh boy, the blocking today.
They have scored 3 or 4 kill blocks here in the first set. 4, as confirmed by our statistician. Tots Carlos will be credited for that kill block against Erica Santos.
Combination play. It is Encarnacion finding that donut hole.
Yan yung sinasabi ni Don kanina pa. We can also get a lot of points from our own combination plays. First point for Jewel Encarnacion.
Back to Didge. Better reception, which leads to the winning point, the winning set point for Alyssa Valdez and the rest of the Creamline Cool Smashers. Valdez scoring 6 points in this first set. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the second. Back inside Volleyball Central here, 25-19. Creamline was down 4 points in the set. Early in the set, they recover and they make a run. They finish strong. All right, tell me about that first one, Neil.
Signal started really strong with heavy serves from Jel Cayuna. They scored a couple of points early on, but somehow along the road, Creamline found solid ground in the reception as well. Still not perfect, but it was enough for Gia de Guzman to work her magic. It was a balanced effort. I would say yes, it was Alyssa Valdez that led all scorers on the Creamline side with 6 points. Carlos had 4, De Leon had 3, Rodriguez had 2. And for the Super Spikers, it has been Vanny Gandler scoring most of their points. She has 5. Sumunod na sa kanya would be Jel Cayuna with 3. So the other attackers have to increase their efficiency and conversion rate because unlaki nung disparity in the attacking department. 6-point difference between these two teams.
Yeah.
And after this preliminary round, team statistics-wise, mas mataas yung Signal as a blocking team, but they were outblocked also by the Cool Smashers. Number 3 yung Signal in our rankings, number 5 yung Creamline, pero nawala yun. And we saw a lot of loose blocks from the Signal side.
Both attacking and blocking. This conference, Signal has been better by far against Creamline or over Creamline when you look at overall numbers. But yet that first set was not the Signal that we've been seeing in terms of the variety of the attacks, the speed of the attacks. Ball control has been a little bit of a problem, but that is also, of course, the way Creamline has played. Creamline looks sharp. They are coming off a loss against Farm Fresh in 4 sets. Signal is coming off a win against Capital in 3 sets. But this is the all-important one for the Creamline Cool Smashers so that they can get that all-important win to keep them in play for top 4. They are at 5 and 3. 2 straight losses by them. So a different starting 6, Neil, for the Signal Super Spikers. And Didge Rodriguez getting the opportunity and grabbing the opportunity.
I would actually say that these are bonus points from Didge Rodriguez.
Fair.
She's there in the starting unit for passing purposes, pero if she can score in double digits for Coach Sherwin Meneses, ang laking tulong yan.
What a dig by Atienza. Tiamzon is denied. Santos. Good up. He's breaking balls, loose balls. Creamline is winning the 50-50 plays.
Floor defense, spot on for the Cool Smashers.
Maiangat lang. One hand against one hand. You know, in international volleyball, di ba, hindi mo na masyado nakikita yung mga ganyan, ano, Neil? As this play is still alive, Gandler. No touch.
Kahit na hindi makaanake yung Creamline, as long as may balik nila yung bola sa side ng Signal, they have a chance to score. Ang dami na nilang bolang nasusungkit.
Yes.
Of the attacks of the Super Spikers. It's a 3-0 run.
Tiamzon goes cross. Binantayan ni Atienza. Carlos on the counter. Dawn will set up Gandler again from the middle. What a set! Doria, nalunod! It is Signal that is out of sync here in this match. And Coach Shaq will call an early timeout.
Gusto nyo lang maglaro. Wala kayong planong manalo. Okay ba yun? Okay?
Malaki yung defense nila. Tara, try natin maging creative na lang. Sige, tara. Okay.
Okay tayo? Ano natin? Don't stop trying. Okay?
Yes,
Don't stop trying. Tara. Makuha na natin yan. Let's go. Super!
4-0 for Creamline. Let's go to Franny Reyes real quick.
Boom and Neil, that was Coach Shaq's timeout with his dream team in Signal. But if our PVL fans want to make their own dream team, the PVL All-Star Showcase is coming up on May 1, and they can vote on pvl.ph/allstar for their dream team. Now let's talk about another star, Tots Carlos, and something that she said actually stuck with me. She said that Creamline reflected and had to remember the things that they needed to, their values, who they are, and what they're fighting for. And that's a team who never gives up, who always tries on every opportunity. They had a slow start in the first set, and she also told me that they really learned a lot and reflected on their losses. They had to improve their service receive. They had to convert the points, but really those small balls and basic errors. These are the things Creamline is looking to fine-tune to book their ticket into the next round. Back to you guys.
They're looking sharp today, that's for sure, Franny. Signal courtesy of Erin Pangilinan, who checked in earlier, just a few minutes ago. Gets their first point in set number 2, but service error by Cayuna. Off the rebound. This girl has got to come alive, Erica Santos.
I agree. She was checked by the defense of Creamline in set number 1 because there wasn't a lot of activity from the middles. They missed the numbers from Rose Daria and Jackie Acuna, so they are hoping that Erin Pangilinan can bridge that gap. Because once you have a convincing middle na consistent din mag-approach, that will allow Jel Cayuna to give better reverse sets to Erica Santos.
Who averages 15.3 points here in the All-Filipino Conference. Second only to Gandler's 17.5. View from the contact. Panaga, one of the better servers, sends it to the net. 3 will be serving 6. It is the former NU champion on tap. Goes to Valdez. Wow. Gia still able to set that ball using her right arm, but Tots could not convert.
Signal also has to bring back the consistency in heavy serving kasi dun sila umabante sa Creamline.
Well, you got to thank Erin there. 2 straight points for her off the bench. Erica. Jen with her familiar jump set.
Lockers got a touch on that one, but still landed sa corner pocket ng Signal.
Carlos, by the way, in this All-Filipino Conference has been her most productive since she came back from various injuries. 14 points a match for the former three-time MVP.
For sure, antennas are way up for Eliza Valdez and Tots Carlos because they know na mas mataas yung load sa kanila offensively. That's another error for the Super Spikers.
Hitting error after hitting error for Vanny Gandler. 8-4 is the score. You're watching the PVL on One Sports and the Pilipinas Live app. Boom Gonzalez, Leo Flores with you. Of course, Franny Reyes joining us here. The broadcast team after the Farm Fresh victory over Akati in 4 sets earlier, which catapults them to the top 4. Capital One and Galleries kicked us off here in San Juan. Capital winning that one in 4. It has been an incredible and allowed Saturday afternoon to evening here in Volleyball Central as Tots Carlos serves 8-4. The defense of Creamline has been spot on, and it is translating to great attacking.
That's an early build lead for the Creamline Cool Smashers at 5. Even the floor defense of Signal naka-crack open na by the offense of the Cool Smashers.
Run is done. And Signal getting points off errors of Creamline here. They haven't really earned a lot for themselves. Nice receive. Nice defense by Nierva. Vintage Eliza Valdez.
Saw the gap between the two blockers of the Super Spikers and for a powerful hit. Hindi rin nakapasok yung kamay ni Jackie Acuña, so papasok talaga yon.
Doubling up. 10 serving 5 here in the second. Very tentative receive there by Tin Tiamzon.
The adjustment from Vanny Gandler. Gia de Guzman already saw the swipe. She put her hands down, but it was already too late.
Yung take off pa lang ni Vanny, you know she was going to go for it. If you are familiar, of course, with how open attackers approach.
Vanny has been the most productive attacker for Signal, so she can actually ask for more sets from Jel Cayuna kahit na nasa likuran siya. But they have to address their defense first.
Both net defense and floor defense, Neil. This is not how we're used to seeing them, at least in the All-Filipino Conference, where they played cohesively and they played fast. Tiamzon, cross court. Valdez unable to get to it. That's just a 4-point lead.
That should be the start for the Signal Super Spikers. Out of system play for Tiamzon. Finding the target zone in zone 6.
Jackie back to Eliza. What an excellently executed play.
They've been in system more compared to the Super Spikers. That's why we're seeing more combination plays from Creamline. Only a single blocker set up by the Super Spikers.
Nahatak ni Panaga yung isa eh. Convincingly. Dawn taking it in the chest. Good up there by Cayuna. Good angle by Tiamzon, but Atienza got that. Swipe. Dawn is there. Gel leaves it for Vanny. Ooh, a chance still here. Pangilinan. puts it away. A productive stint for the former NU star.
That was a costly mistake from Banks Panaga. She didn't even jump for that attack. So pagka hindi ka sigurado dun sa gagawin mo, you have to put that ball up for the setter to take control. So I agree, Erin Pangilinan has been the game changer for the Super Spikers, scoring at least 3 points.
Jamzon keeping it up. Chance here for Creamline. Up 4. And I think a challenge is forthcoming here. And it might be the reach. Gia didn't go for it. She was waiting for the ball to go down, but she didn't get a chance because we saw the middle blocker's hands. I forgot who. I missed out meal kung sino yung tumapik nung bola.
Was it Yamzon?
Oh, was it it?
We have to check kung nasa ang airspace ba yung bola before she went for that dump. Looked good to me.
Initially, no? Yeah, good ball. Tin was also kind of careful.
Iniwasan din niya yung net. So there wasn't a lot of power in that dump ball. So that's a point for Signal. Down by 3.
2 straight points. Got 3 attackers for Jel Cayuna here in front. Back to Didge. She gets it back. Rubisin, pumalo.
Now she's getting her flow of the game after a shaky start. She's scoring off the combination plays. Panghilingan tried to go for a double jump. It's just too late. It's easier for tall middle blockers to go for double jumps kasi yung first jump nila pwedeng half jump before they go for a full one. Banks Panaga will score off that regalo.
Helpless in that situation was Jel Cayuna. That's a good set. But what we're seeing here is 1 or 2 good points and then 3, 4, 5 para sa Creamline.
Jel Cayuna is really trying her best to give the best sets to Erica Santos on the right side because yung mga passes ng Signal na-eliminate yung middle side. So it's either Jel Cayuna goes to the left side or the right or the pipe.
And one of the reasons why she also cannot set up her middle blockers, their reception has been faulty.
That's surprising because they're number 2
Yes,
as a team.
correct. Yun nga sabi natin, di ba? The reason why they're 6 and 2, they're better in attacking, they're better in blocking, they're better in receiving. But today, we're not seeing that.
There would be times na nag-iingat yung mga wing spikers ng Signal dahil alam nila na doon na yung block ng Creamline. Technical timeout, Creamline with a 6-point lead.
UAP Season 88 Volleyball is in full swing. Watch the games every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Pilipinas Live app. Also available on the UAP Varsity channel and One Sports because legends start here. And by the way, speaking of, since the games are done already in the UAP, we welcome the audience watching on One Sports right now as they tune in to the PVL. Kai, Jenny, Shola. all in attendance. Kaya na, mamigay ka naman. Bakit ikaw lang yung kumakain? Of course, Kyla, who used to report for FEUs beside one of their former players, Chenitaga. As Erica Santos gets the tip ball to go.
She's really trying her best to break that block of Creamline. 4 points. Has been a relatively quiet game for Erica Santos. Now is the time for her to pick up the numbers because she's getting more opportunities in the second set.
15.3 on the average, so they need more from her. Erin was really stayed ready.
She is a good server, finding Ditch Rodriguez on that pass. Shank pass will give Signal another point. Lead is down to 4.
She's always been a steady server, even in her NU days, Neil. I have to say it after her serving. Para lang sigurado.
Di mabate.
This is a run here by Signal to cut the lead down to 3. So Coach Sherwin will sue for time.
Press kasi ang play niya eh. Diba? So, si Alaysa ang kukuha nito, dito si Alaysa. Para dire-diretso na siya. Ha? Hindi naman, pag dito siya dito, malakas yan, for sure. Pero pag dito, hindi. Bukas lang kayo dito. Let's go.
Okay, bawi, guys, bawi!
Hey, 1-3-9! Now is your chance to make your dream team come true. Voting is now online for the Volleyball All-Star Showcase in Candon City on May 1. Cast your votes at pvl.ph/allstar. The Volleyball All-Star Showcase will also be available live on the Pilipinas Live app. 13-16. Pangilinan continues to serve her former teammate. And even Jen Yerba could not handle the heat. 4-0 run by the Super Spikers.
Ganda rin ng targets ni Erin Pangilinan. Tina-target niya yung space sa gitna ni Jen Nierva and Dij Rodriguez or yung space sa gitna ni Eliza Valdez
Correct.
and Dij.
Correct. Or si Dij mismo. Tots breaks that run. Carlos has really, this conference, Neil, has had her bounce back, her spring, her jump, her spike, which right now is brought to you by Dunkin. Pasalubong ng bayan ang ating spike of the set. And that's only a reflection that means that she's really healthy now.
That replay, kitang-kita natin yung wrist action din ni Tots, guiding that ball to where she wants it to land.
That's a better setup for Gandler. Actually, a little faster yung set na yun, ano?
It's also one of the signature sets of Jel Cayuna, yung mga shoot sets. Left side, Coach Shaq has shuffled his players. He's been given points off the bench. Dalawa na lang ang lamang ng Creamline. Ordiales will give the Super Spikers a full front line. This is a tall front line for Signal.
And C will be the one serving. Chance ball. Oh! And Eliza Valdez will be credited for that point. That is just a veteran move.
Nanginayang si Coach Shaq because Don Katindig was already there. You have to trust the defenders in their respective zones. Because once you get in the way, dun nagkakalituhan.
Duremdes is in the match also. Another one by Gandler. Gandler today, 9 points so far. On the verge of double digits for a girl who's covering or is scoring 17.5 on the average.
A while ago, she was targeting the deep zones, the long zones of Creamline, but now she is challenging the block of Gia de Guzman.
Tama.
Dalawang hitouts na against Gia.
Oh, she got a hand on that one. Ordiales. Rodriguez tipped back. Sabi niya, isa pa daw. Gandler was there. Mababa, but Gandler is denied. One more time for Lalong Isip. Coverage by Macandili. Katindig to lalong isip. Right at the corner. That is the first long exchange that Signal actually won in this match.
Nakailang recycle yung signal dun sa last sequence natin. Gia de Guzman putting her hands down because she felt like Ishi lalong isip was going to go for a swipe, but that was a clean angle from Ishi.
Down one na lang, Neil. Sending it to Rodriguez. Dug by Don. Oh, but a net scratch by Ordiales. Or is it Acuna? Is it 19-17? That might be an important moment in this match. We will try to look back.
Torres will be serving for Coach Sherwin.
Serving and sweeping. She's not a libero today. As Atienza and Nierva are the ones. Torres activated. Lalong isip will go long and wide. That's why yung 19-17 na yun, net error might be a turning point here, breaking that Signal run.
Okay, okay. Teka. Okay, usap muna ulit.
Okay, pasa mo na ulit. Okay, pasa ulit. Tara, isang pasa ulit, ha? Walang, malaki tayo. Pag hindi okay yung pasa, go time mo na. Okay, tayo. Cover lahat. Cover lahat.
Enjoy nyo lang. Smile.
Let's go! Super!
They cut the lead down 17-18. Creamline responding with two very important points. One of them was gifted to them. The other one they earned. Actually, two errors pala, no? By Signal, a scratch at the net and a hitting error by lalong isip. As Torres continues to serve here. Sends it to Buding. Another wasted opportunity. And Rodriguez takes advantage. A 3-0 run after Signal cuts it down to 1.
Hindi pwedeng idikit ng signal yung pasa nila, lalo na pag si Giselle Seal center na nasa loob. She's not the tallest, so she would need to go for a full jump to be able to save those tight passes.
Torres, solid so far. Acuna runs. It's been a while.
Kailangan ng signal yung slide attack ni Jackie Acuna.
Sila ni Doria. Aquino, of course. Starting blockers, middle blockers. To Rodriguez. Rodriguez has found her confidence from a receiving standpoint.
That's what you got to love about Gia de Guzman also. She knows that Liz Rodriguez is getting challenged on the receiving end, but every time she scores a point of an attack, iba pa rin yung confidence na nabibigay nun sa isang player. Now, Lori Bernardo will check in for Coach Sherwin.
That's when you say it's a mental game. Because we know Rodriguez and Eliza Valdez, you know, kung sa ano lang, alam naman marunong rumeceive yan. But sometimes volleyball is really, well, not sometimes, it's really a confidence game. Rally ongoing. Stopped at the border.
I felt like Erica Santos held back on power. It wasn't a strong hit for her, so it was easy for the blockers to put that ball down.
She has looked tentative here in this match. Not the usual Erica Santos, aggressive Erica Santos that we know and we've seen. Ishi gets the point back. 19 serving 23.
It's another point of the combination play of the Super Spikers. Most of their combination plays have worked here in the second set.
Coach Sherwin maniniguro.
Iya, pwede na doon. Samantalayin niyo si Lalong isip. Dalawa yung papalo dyan. Pag nagka-receive, gamihan mo isa kanila. Good. Back quick. Okay na?
Okay, wala titigan doon sa go! Let's go, guys! One, Creamline!
Neil, when Coach Sherwin says samantalahin si Lalong isip, can you qualify that instruction?
Samantalain in terms of defense, I guess. They want to attack her block because syempre iiwasan mo si Erica Santos at si Doria.
Shortest and least experienced in that front line. Good serve. Jill. Back to Erica. Off the soft block. Laurie. No touch, says the referees. They're going to challenge this still? Or no? Oh, yes, it is. They are. At 23-19, Laurie Bernardo with the swing. According to Signal, the girls, nobody touched. Settle it with the challenge, but Coach Sherwin probably using this as some sort of a timeout too, because that's 2 straight points in case this is an unsuccessful challenge. We will give you. There's a high
Lock touch.
my hands. Very high. So, 2 straight points. 20 serving 23.
The serving of Jelka Yuna is back. She's successful in forcing those out-of-system plays from the Cool Smashers.
Dawn trying to make a run for it. Dodds gets them at set point.
4 set points for Creamline.
7 points for Carlos. And a chance for a 2 sets to love lead. Over receive! And Creamline has been opportunistic in all of these overpasses and erroneous plays by the Signal Super Spikers, who are down here 2 sets to love.
Mic check.
Okay na, okay na. Okay.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Hindi ko marinig si Bo.
Mic check. Mic check.
We're back inside. Volleyball Central. Oh boy, it is loud in here. 25-20 in the second set. 25-19 in that first set. And the Creamline looking really sharp, Neil, so far here.
Creamline really exploited the faulty passing of the Super Spikers. We saw a couple of gifts given to Creamline. The middle blockers took advantage. There were a lot of heavy hits from the Creamline Cool Smashers. And for Signal naman, they really tried to go for their combination plays. They've had a lot of success dun sa gitna when Vanny Gandler goes for an approach, or if Ishi Lalong Isip approaches also for the same combination play. But now they're down by 2 sets. There are a lot of things to consider for the Super Spikers. Wala pa rin yung net defense na hinahanap natin. Creamline got 1 kill block, but the serving was back for Signal rather. That is the silver lining in set number 2. They were able to force multiple shank passes and out-of-system plays. Pero ang dami rin nilang binigay na libreng puntos. That's a total of 9 free points.
All right, so Signal, let's see if they recover here. We talked about at the start of the pregame with, of course, Franny Reyes and Neil Flores, that the premier matchup is one of the, the things that we wanted to put the spotlight on between an 8-time best setter in Gia and a 4-time best setter in Gel, Franny.
I'm gonna borrow this.
Please.
You know, I talked to Gel and she actually told me she's both excited and challenged to face Gia because with Gia, she adjusts fast at wala siyang pinipili, lahat nagagamit. On the other end, I talked to Gia because, Signal's been really utilizing this Japanese training camp, and she said there's really a premium on the basics when you play the Japan way, and that's what allows you to control a situation and what allows you to play efficiently. So you have to manage your basics before you can control the other side. It's really fun actually picking the brains of both our setters. But I do have a question. Are you a volleyball fan? Do you love volleyball action, have volleyball idols, and a desire to see them on the same team? If so, this opportunity may be for you. The Volleyball All-Star Showcase is coming up on May 1. Vote at pvl.ph/allstar. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Franny Reyes, the third member of our broadcast team. And Creamline looks like they're hell-bent in terms of finishing the opponent right now in the Signal HD Spikers. One 0 Creamline.
Probably the best swing for Erica Santos in this game. A clean angle to zone 5. Even with a double block in front of her, she went for speed and power.
Creamline led by the 9 points of Eliza Valdez, Carlos with 7, Panaga with 7.
For the Super Spikers, it's Vanny Gandler still leading the pack with 9. Erica Santos with 4. Erin Pangilinan scored 4 points only in the second set.
Couple of service errors here back-to-back. Sharp serve. Good reaction there by Rodriguez. Self-cover by Eliza Valdez. Does not work.
This is what they need more. Yung kill blocks have to remember that they are number 3 in that skill department. In the first 2 sets, hindi natin masyado nakita yung blocking system ng Super Spikers.
The middle blockers have been not as active as we're used to. Scramble leads to this set by Doria, and maybe this is the set that Doria Aquino and Acuña will come alive. And maybe Erin Pangilinan also did very well in that start of that second set.
2-point lead already for Signal here in set number 3. Only way out of this situation would be to push for that reverse sweep.
Second service error, though, in this set right away. Carlos go to that jump serve. It's not going to work against Creamline. They got lucky there as De Leon sliced it too wide.
Signal just has to take care of this 2-point lead. At least ngayon, mas nabibigyan na ng sets yung middles nila compared to the first 2 frames. Na very limited talaga yung attempts.
Dots from the right pin. Left pin attack by Valdez. And she puts it away with a block breaker.
Liza Valdez now in double digits for Creamline.
For serving 5. Oh! Danny.
Opposite hitters don't receive.
That's why I was surprised that Danny looked back. Maybe looking back at whether that ball was going to fall in. But that was definitely in. Doria Aquino this time.
Solid connection rebuilt by Rosalind Doria Aquino and Chel Cayuna. Now it's time for Jackie Acuña to score her fair share of points here in set number 3. That's the only way to defeat Creamline here in this third set. Pag naging sobrang active yung middles ng Signal.
Help Vanny and Santos. Also, speaking of middles, when Gian de Guzman is your center, if you're a middle blocker, you always got to be ready. Always got to be approaching. 6-all. PVL. Don will send it to Lalong Isip. Good coverage there by Tots. Jackie.
That fault will be called on Ditch Rodriguez.
The middle blockers, Acuña, as you mentioned, Doria Aquino, Rodriguez.
They're more intentional in giving opportunities to Doria Aquino and Jackie Acuña.
Don got a hand on it. And returned to Creamline. One more time, and it's Don again. Lalong Isip on the attack. Yerba with the dig. Mababa para kay Valdez. Bumalik. Gel goes to Santos, who puts it away.
That is the power that you want to see from Erica Santos compared to the 2 sets. She has been going at it at 100%. First technical timeout. Signal up by 2.
got a sky full of stars, and not to mention the Volleyball All-Star Showcase is happening on May 1, so don't forget to vote on pvl.ph/all-star. Now let's talk about Erica Santos. We actually focused on the things that Signal needs to improve on, especially when they face a veteran team in Creamline. Erica was telling me that when they're struggling the most is really in the in-game adjustments and the situationals. Everything that we've been noticing so far from the Signal Super Spikers. They also need to be able to hold on stronger and tighter to each other, be able to rise when they're getting frustrated or flustered in the game. She said that all of these things matter when you face a veteran team in Creamline because you can never be complacent when you play against them. They're down 2 sets right now, but anything can still happen, Bumanil.
But they're up 3 points here, in the third after a 3-0 run. So, you know, in volleyball, Franny, it's never done. 2 sets, and Santos is coming alive here, getting more opportunities and getting more open looks because of the effectivity of Acuña and Doria Aquino earlier on.
This is also the biggest lead for the Super Spikers.
Since 5-1 the first set. Now it's definitely officially the biggest lead, and Coach Sherwin knows that, so he's going to call for timeout.
Attempt. Mawala tayo na receive. Tsagayin natin doon sa second ball. Then follow ng maganda. Okay?
Piyasa lang tayo, ate.
Okay, Gaga.
Go, 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 go.
Hey, one, Creamline!
Neil, we were tied at 6-all here in set number 3. And all of a sudden, some separation. What has caused this separation?
At the top of the coverage, we already mentioned that it is going to be the serving of Signal that will be key.
Good point.
Kasi kaya naman nila pumuntos ng 3 or 4 of the missed receives of Creamline.
Ngayon lang natin nakikita sa third set. After nung first set kanina. Rodriguez with the hit out.
Out of all of the servers, dun sa Signal, pinaka-nahihirapan yung Creamline kay Chel Cayuna. So yung side out na yun, napaka-importante to get her out of that rotation.
High ball. Gia. Rodriguez getting her fair share now with 10 points.
Wow, double digits also for DJ Rodriguez.
Yan yung sinasabi mong bonus, Neil. Kumapang.
Malaki-laki na yun.
Yung forma niya talaga, may pagka-pons, pagka humampas ng bola, yung pitik. Yung kamay at least. Liza with a stretch. Dawn looks at Erica. Erica, smart attack there. Getting the pace off that ball.
That's the control also that you want to see from Erica Santos. Yes, she has been going to a lot of powerful hits. Pero in that scenario, nakasiksik na yung blockers ng Creamline. Wala nang option for down-the-line hit. So she went cross.
Naunahan na siya ng blockers. Dawn was there again. Erica again will try. Ooh! This time she had a different contact to that ball. Lead is down to 3. Medyo nailang siya dun sa play na yun. Fanny in the middle. That is a touch. When they do attack in the middle, they've been successful. Again, you were saying the combo plays. Lalong Isip was able to hit there. Vanny has had a lot of success from there.
Basta combination play sa gitna.
Yes.
Zone 165, you can target any of those zones.
We haven't seen that from Creamline today much, which is kind of their specialty too. Reverse. Bang! Bang!
That is money for Tots Carlos. delay na nabibigay ni Gia de Guzman sa mga attackers niya. That makes all the difference.
The spike of the set brought to you by Dunkin. Pasalubong ng bayan. Look at that.
Huge space between Gandler and Doria Aquino.
Because of that delay, the assist block came in late. Chase. Ooh, what a set. But what a block. Lead us down to 2.
Net defense is back for the Cool Smashers. Sometimes yung middle blockers, they would drop a certain hand pag alam nila kung saan zone pupunta yung attacker at the last second.
Fanny will get this one.
Break point for Vanny Gandler. She has been the silencer din sa mga mini-run ng Creamline. From the first set until this point, pag kailangan ng break point ni Jel Cayuna, she would oblige and deliver for the Super Spikers.
Santos serving. Didge receiving. Valdez spiking.
Points for Eliza Valdez. She overtakes all scorers on the Creamline side. 10 points for Didge Rodriguez, 8 points for Tots Carlos.
Well, trying to make up for Gemma Galanza's absence, who produces 14.3, and Bernadette Pons, who produces 17.6. Kyle Negrito, the other 4-time best setter, is in play now. Mitch, just in case you forgot.
4-time best setter, doing best setter things here in the midpoint of set number 3.
They're only down by 1. They were up by 5 early in the set.
Kyle Negrito is also a heavy server.
Yes.
Also from the FEU program.
Ooh, but this one too heavy.
Back to a 2-point lead for the Super Spikers.
But Sherwin Meneses, who was out under the weather the last time when they lost to Farm Fresh, who are, by the way, in the top 4 by virtue of that win earlier today. Santos digging. Gandler in the middle. Checked. Lalong isip. Good coverage by Don. And a chance to attack here. They go to Mitch, who overcompensates on that one. 16-13. Signal.
After a series of unforced errors from the Creamline Cool Smashers, the Signal Super Spikers are now up by 3 points after that second technical timeout. Vanny Gandler is hoping to score a couple of points from the service line because that has been their consistent weapon against Creamline in this matchup. Liza Valdez from the left side, checked at the net. Cayuna goes for a set in the back row. Valdez will try again. Dug by Makandili Katindig. Ishi Lalong Isip will get the corner pocket. Four-point lead for the Super Spikers. We're seeing a lot of grit from the black shirts. Defense being led by Don Makandili Katindig. Passing issues continue dito sa side ng Creamline.
Timeout, Coach Sherwin, as this is getting out of hand again.
Pag dumating ulit, at pag wala, tsagayin lang natin. Ha? Gitna 2 lang receive. Gitna 2. Let's go.
Bawi natin! Let's go!
One, Creamline!
So Creamline cut the lead down to 1 after Signal had a 5-point lead. It was down 13-14 and then a 4-0 answer again by CSS to reinstall that 5-point lead, 18-13. Gia to Bea. Danny. Joust.
Double contact will be called.
This is what happens.
Pwede Leon.
Yeah, when you really use 2 hands, you give yourself a better chance instead of yung nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, in international competition, di ba na nakikita yung tapik-tapik at sa net. They really play with force with 2 hands most of the time. Good up! Dawn looks at the other side to Ishii. Dawn was there again. Vanny had to reach. Reverse to Tots. Back to Creamline. The lead is 6, the biggest for Signal. Good chase. Yerba was there. Didge from the middle. From behind.
Was that the first pipe attack for Didge Rodriguez?
It definitely was. No question.
She's not known for her back row attacks, pero pinapractice din naman yan sa training. It's part of the system. All outside hitters must approach for a pipe.
Our SEA Games gold medalist. One of course. Gandler receives that one well, which means Cayuna had the opportunity to set again to her middle blocker.
Better late than never. Lahat ng hinanap natin ng set number 2, they're applying it here in this frame. Blocking is better, I would say, for Signal. Floor defense has improved so much because of Don Katindig. Yung activity ng middles, mas madami na ngayon.
And it's not... Let's finish this one first. The Signal has also been able to calm the Creamline crowd down a little bit, which I'm sure, Neil, added to a little bit of the frustration and confusion of Signal at that first set.
Iba pa rin talaga pag nerves when you know na anlaki ng crowd ng opponent nyo. But right now, they're in full control of the set. That's another first error for the Cool Smashers. So this is a convincing performance for Signal. This is the reason why they're second in the team standings.
Right now, they're inching closer to their first set win here. Jackie again, pero mataas. Mali yung senyas. Ano yung nangyari, Neil?
The set was for a long slide, pero yung approach kasi ni Jackie pang short slide.
Buti na lang, they have a little bit of a cushion. They had an 8-point lead, biggest. Now it's down to 7 as Elia Torres comes back in to serve and sweep. For Canadian, serving it to Don. A scratch at the net caught by second referee Fernando Velarde, which gives the point to Signal here. Lead is back to 8. And they're 2 points away from getting over the hill.
3 points are piling up in favor of the Super Spikers.
Gel has been a problem from the service point of this court.
That's frustrating for Creamline knowing na si Jel na naman yung magsaserve. She continues to target Eliza Valdez.
She averages 5 points, Neil. Jel Cayuna does. She has 6 now. Very offensive-minded, as you know. And that will do it. Santos also piling in the points. 9. 5 of those 9 came here in the second set, and we are off to a set number 4. Flawless volleyball from the Signal Super Spikers in set 3. Well, it's 25-19, 25-20 for Creamline in the first 2 sets, and all of a sudden, Signal coming back. It's a 25-15 third set, and the signal that we saw in the third set was the signal that we've been seeing generally here in the All-Filipino Conference.
We were able to connect the dots. It started with heavy serving from Jel Cayuna. She took control of that service line, targeting Ditch Rodriguez, targeting Eliza Valdez. Yung 3-4 bonus points against the receivers of Creamline, napalaking bagay na yan. Officially, they had 2 service aces. Well, yung other shank passes gave them an opportunity to attack. It wasn't an outright shank pass, but still, ang laking tulong nun because they regained control in the attacking department. 3 points more there. And look at the output of Creamline in the opponent's errors. 10. Pag nasa double digits yan, you just know na talagang nahirapan, nag-struggle yung team in that set.
Volleyball is such a fickle game, Neil. You know, momentum completely in Creamline's side. And then all of a sudden, Signal just parang walang nangyari. Kailangan nga nila, di ba? You gotta have a short memory in volleyball. You forget that previous set. Actually, you forget the previous point is what you usually say here in the sport of volleyball. As Danny Gandler and the rest of the girls of the Super Spikers is Signal looking to come back here.
When they're on the serving end, pag nagsisimula yung mga set, laging inuuna ni Coach siya si Jel Cayuna or madalas because he knows that he can already make a mini run
to start
sa simula. Started with a 2-point lead and then it ballooned.
That's exactly what they did in the first set even, leading 5-1. And they just lost control of that first set. All right, here we go. 2-1 for Creamline. We expected a battle. We didn't get much of it in the first 2 sets, but Signal saying, hey, wait a minute. We're the number 2 team in the league. Third set action. Boom Gonzalez, Neil Flores, Franny Reyes. One Sports Plus, and the Pilipinas Live app. Good dive there by Lalong Isip. And a high ball for Creamline on their first attack. That's classic. Eliza Valdez.
Excellent swing from Eliza Valdez. That was a fast one pulled against Signal.
That's going to sail out. Eliza has, you know, in terms of her power there's a lot more powerful spikers in this day and age, Neil, we know that. But yung diskarte pa rin niya yung inaasahan niya. She still can fly, obviously.
She doesn't have any problems in attacking. It's really just receiving that she needs to focus on.
Gonna go out. She must be very happy getting a lot of court time here. I'm sure she's not happy that she has injured teammates, obviously. But she's gotten herself back into tip-top shape also after some injuries also for her. And now she's getting a lot of court time the last couple of games. They're hoping for wins.
No block touch.
Yeah, miss hit. Tunog na tunog pa lang sa bola.
Right, that happened in front of us.
Yes. Really miss hit sound. 3-1, Creamline. Good receive there. Vanny in the middle. Again, successful.
It's still an effective combination play for the Super Spikers. Kahit nandun na yung blockers ng Creamline, they didn't even jump for the
Rose.
quick against Doria Aquino.
Yeah. 2-3. Fourth set. This receive there. Good touch by Vanny Gandler, withdrawing her hands just at the right time too. Jen challenged there on her reception. Chell going for it, but Didge was there. What a set to Carlos. Unbelievable. And that is unreturnable. 4-3, let's check in with Franny Reyes.
Boom and Neil, before anything, just want to remind our PVL fans to vote on pvl.ph/all-star if they want to see their favorite PVL stars on May 1 in the Volleyball All-Star Showcase. And speaking of stars, we got to talk about Bea De Leon and Jen Nierva. Now, Bea told me there are teams that face each other so often in this league, and it really always comes down to the small things, attention to detail. That's really what will make the difference. And she also told me that the foundation of any good game is actually for them to have a good serve to counter the opponent's defense. Now, Jen was actually telling me it's all about having good service receive. They have to control passing and defense because then everything will follow. It's clear that the Cool Smashers know what they need to do if they want to take this in 4 sets, but it looks like Signal is knocking on their door, Bubenil.
Thank you very much, Franny. But they let go of that point as they awarded to Creamline of another mishit, this time from Ishi Lalong Isip this time.
Nanghinayang yung Signal because it was a perfect play, an open block from Creamline. May halong gigil na because Ishi knew it.
Yep. Chell chasing, nagawang pa ng paraan. Gia back to Didge for the hit out.
Mas nauna pa mag-double digit si Didge Rodriguez kasi Tots Carlos. That's when you know that Creamline came prepared with this starting unit.
This is the girl who leads all scorers. By the way, Vanny has 14 for Signal. Bumalik! Miss hit! Gigil. Speaking of,
Signal has to calm down because they've been faced with a lot of open blocks from the Creamline side. Pero sumusobra yung atake nila. With the 3 attack errors of Signal.
4-1, part of that 4-1 run. Ooh! Creamline gets to the technical timeout on a 5-1 run. 8-4 is our score here. The Creamline Cool Smashers seem to have recovered, but aided by the errors of Signal here. We're in the middle of a 5-1 run. 3 of those 5 points, Neil, off Signal errors. Quick change of set, change of fortune right away.
Hindi nila pwedeng madaliin yung proseso kasi they've been having good setups naman in terms of offense, and just like that, another unforced error for the Super Spikers. They're trying to challenge that end lines. I know the intention is to go high and long, but that's just too long for them.
6-1 run. Back to Vanny. Back to Ishii. Back to Signal. Gel to Gandler from the middle. Good dig by Tots. Good stretch by Vanny.
Yeah, that's a better swing from Erica Santos. Hindi naman compressed yung blockers ng Creamline, so hindi mo masyadong kailangan iwasan. You can actually go down hard. Another open block from the Creamline side.
Spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Pasalubong ng bayan courtesy of Erica Santos. Breaks that 6-1 run. That drops out. Errors piling up early in this fourth. A lot of points awarded to Creamline here. This time, Didge still playable. Jackie with a swipe. Nobody taking ball number 2.
Don Macandili was already giving instructions na hindi na siya yung kukuha ng bola, but I don't think anybody heard it because of the noise of the crowd.
Because they are back, Neil. The crowd is back in this.
Reset muna, reset muna. Huwag tayo magbigay ng easy point. Tayo natin binibigay sa kanila. Tapos, tinitingnan lang din natin yung ginagawa nila. Ha, okay, pasa muna ulit. Pasa muna ulit. Ay, huwag niyo nga pabigatin. Bakit ba kasi pinabibigat yung sitwasyon? Maglaro lang kayo ng tama. Ha, okay, go, go, go.
Ready lang tayo kapag umangat. Okay, tara.
Neil, paalala lang natin sa viewers who just tuned in the implication of a possible Creamline win if they continue this run of theirs.
If they win this in 4 sets, they will have solo control of the 3rd seed. Rank number 4, yung Farm Fresh. That's what they want. They want to end this in this
right now.
frame.
Yeah.
They have a 6-point lead, so they can't squander that because they don't want to slide to the 5th and 6th spot.
Right, right. So we'll stay with that scenario first dahil yan ang gusto nilang tangkain, manalo in the 4th. 11 serving 5. It's too low. Didge sends it over. Joel asking, Vanny getting. Gandler has been a productive player from the pipe.
PVL didn't know what to do with that ball. Hindi naman specialty ng
Yes.
soccer.
Yes.
Use the wrong hand as well. Dapat left hand when you're guarding that zone.
Good receive. That's what happens when you got that really perfect first ball.
Miguel de Guzman is just so confident in giving those sets to Didge Rodriguez.
Erica sent back. Pabalik kay Santos. Gandler, not this time!
3 straight rejections for the Cool Smashers. 2 against Erica Santos and 1 against Vanny Gandler. Erica Santos was already down on the floor. The ball was on the right side. So the only option na madali for Signal was to give that ball to Vanny Gandler. But Panagan stayed with her.
And Gandler went straight also. Another one for Creamline here for Tots. Off the touch. Shoot set to Encarnacion. Atienza will bump it. Rodriguez scores her 14th point on 14 attacks, and she finds the line on that one. 14-6 is the score.
Regroup tayo, regroup tayo. Diskarte tayo. Pinipilit talaga nila ma-double block kayo kasi kayo yung main striker. Tara! Tsagain natin. Racing tayo. Kaya natin sa! Uli isa pa, sige. Tulong lang, tulong. Written! Let's go!
14-6. And Signal trying to regroup after an incredible third set. This is a complete opposite of what we saw. Again, the sport of volleyball, really funny that way sometimes. That's going to sail out. Dawn, look at the reaction of Dawn.
Well, they're down by 7, so they need all the points that they can get. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Unforced errors from Creamline, back points on their end.
You know, those two girls are the backbone of our national team, as you know. Super competitive.
Vanny Gandler has been their backbone.
Yeah,
Leading all scorers.
that's her first block. 16 for Vanny. She is close to her average at 17.5. National team players here. Nierva couldn't get to it. Carlos was already backing up for her approach. Good timeout by Coach Shaq because that produces 3 straight points. So Coach Sherwin will call time.
Ay, taas naman eh. Taas tayo.
Yung running A-quick kasi pareho lang yun eh. Di ba?
Let's go.
Running A-quick. Anong mas
A na
gusto
lang.
mo?
Sige. Sige.
Ha? Baling manat over, okay lang.
Okay
Balang ka, balang ka.
Okay lang. Good one. Let's go, guys.
14-6 was the score. It's 14-9 now after that 3 straight points off a Shaq timeout. He's trying to go for 2 for 2 again today. Former UP Maroon. Combination. Dawn was ready. So was Erica.
Not yet over for the Super Spikers. They can make a mini run. That's a 4-0 run right now for the black shirts. Sakto din yung rotation ni Jel Cayuna sa harapan. 3 options there.
Bump set. Ooh, that might have been going out. Tots. Set back. Tots tries again. Off the soft block. Cayuna looks back at Santos, who puts it away. This run continues.
She's feeling it. You can feel the focus of Erica Santos. A zone out, lahat ng ingay inside this arena. Focusing on all the sets given to her by Jel Cayuna.
That's her right there. This is down to a 3-point lead, but another big one. Might be another big moment here. Bumalik sa Signal. Bumalik kay Vanny. Back to Signal again. Back to Santos. That's the right play there. High ball. Gel. Gandler. Oh, what a squeeze there by Atienza. Still going. Sa gitna. Still up. Gel. Oh, it's too low.
That's a tough one for Signal. Gel Cayuna called for a short slide, but there was no approach from Jackie Acuna, so Creamline will enter the second technical timeout with a 5-point lead.
Back inside. Volleyball Central. Let's look at that last play. Ito yun, oh. Bumalik sa kanila yung bola.
Started with that drop ball from Erica Santos.
There.
A chance ball for Signal, but the approach was for a long slide. Bitin pala yung naging set ni Gel Cayuna. That's the second time for that miscue.
Over.
Pass.
So Neil, we had a 6-1 run by Signal. They were down 3, 11, 14. I did say that service error of Joel Encarnacion might have been a difference. After that, naging 17-11 na. So, although Creamline gave away a point there, but we might look back at that moment where it was 11-14 and Signal on a rapid run, quelled by their own error, which, by the way, will be their 8th error of the match. Oh, sorry, of the set.
Danny Gandler continues to fight for her team. That's another kill block for Vanny Gandler.
And that's her average right there. 17.5, 17 points today. She has fought through everything tonight. We've seen that time and time again.
Siguro yun yung pinakamalaking advantage ng Creamline pag nasa loob si Eliza Valdez. There will be no connection issues between those two players, Gia de Guzman and Eliza Valdez. Alam na nila yung isa't isa kung paano sila maglalaro.
Won and lost together in college and in the professional leagues. Gia got a hand on it. Not a chance for Signal. They're down 5. Erica Santos continues to rack up the points here. 13 points. She has come alive since set 3.
Even yung mga rallies kanina, we mentioned na habang mainit sa Erica Santos, you have to keep on feeding her those balls. Supportahan mo na lang siya in coverage. But as long as she's confident to go for those swings, as long as she keeps on asking for it, pwede pang makahabol yung Signal, but now she will rotate to the back row.
And her team down 4. Look at that. That is perfect. We have to see that again. 19-14. Look at the execution, Neil.
Combination play, double block was there, but Eliza Valdez was unbothered by the defense of Signal.
A beautiful piston play only to be diluted by a service error by Tons Carlos to keep Signal the window of opportunity here, 15-19. Gandler serves it to Valdez. C will open to Encarnacion. Dug by Nierva. Valdez will try again. Don looks at Tiamzon. Tiamzon is denied.
Creamline is feeling it. 5 points away from entering the next round in the top 4.
Serving 15. Tori Aquino with a tip ball. Will be serving 20 here. It still goes through. Still alive on the side of Creamline. C. And Encarnacion cuts the lead down to 13. Will Coach Sherwin call for time? That's 2 straight points by Signal.
This is good news for Coach Shaq de los Santos. You changed a couple of players in the front line. You have Tiamzon, fresh legs there. You also have Encarnacion. At hindi pa masyadong nababasa ng Creamline.
Oh, and Tiamzon.
These are the costly errors for the Super Spikers. They're able to defend the floor, but they commit those net faults.
And the timing, Neil, of the errors. The net fault when they cut the lead down to 2 or 3. The service error when they cut the lead down again to 3 kanina at 14-11. So those are the 2 moments that they're going to look at that could have been for them to continue their run. Ooh. That is a beautiful swing by Jul Encarnacion.
70-80% of the time, pag kumukombinasyon yung Signal, napapatay naman nila yung bola eh.
Good point.
Now, babalik si Erica Santos with Jel Cayuna.
Yeah, one last stand here for them. Down 3, 18-21. Cayuna with a heavy serve usually. Goes to Valdez, misreceived that one. Nagawang pa ng paraan. It's on the side of Signal. Reverse! Good pick up there by Valdez. Jewel again on the side of Signal. Santos. That is so smart by Erica Santos. This last ditch run. This is the first time they've cut it down to 2.
That's the handoff between Vanny Gandler and Erica Santos. Pag umiikot si Vanny Gandler sa likuran. O ikaw naman, Erica, pumuntos ka while you're up front.
Jel Cayuna again with the serve. This is a crucial point, Neil. A crucial section of this 4th set. Gumabaw is back. It's on the side of Signal. Miscommunication. And they pay for it.
And yung mga miscues ng Signal, dyan sila nasasaktan talaga here in the 3rd set. They've been working hard on the defensive end of their game, net defense, floor defense, but it's these tiny miscues that have been giving Creamline more momentum here.
At the worst times too, Neil. Just in the heat of their run. Not done, Neil. Not done, though. It's only 19-22. Creamline's not gonna... Signal's gonna go back down. How about that? Joel Encarnacion with an unreturnable spike of the set. Brought to you by Duncan Pasalubong ng Bayan.
Every time a player scores an impact point of a combination play, you can expect a harder hit the next sequence. And yan yung ginagawa ni Joel Encarnacion. Vanny Gandler now up front. Strongest front line for the Super Spikers.
And a loose ball here. Creamline denied. Oh!
The defense was not ready for Signal. It was just a simple push from the Cool Smashers.
Speaking of push, Gia de Guzman pushing Panaga from behind. If we could see that sequence again, maybe not now, but nagsorry nga siya pagkatapos ng play. Napalakas yung tulak niya eh. Gandler again. They're not done yet. Down two.
Not yet out of the woods.
Yeah.
2 points to win this game. 2 points for Signal to tie.
Sabi ni Erica, kapit lang. Kapit lang. That's advice for all of you watching right now.
It's a 3-on-3 affair up front.
Chance for Signal here. Gandler. Doug. Valdez. Cayuna. Santos. De Guzman. To Valdez again. Who puts it away? Prime time. Valdez.
Three match points for the Cool Smashers. Eliza Valdez just pouring everything into that last swing, breaking the double block of the Super Spikers.
And a heavy server. 24-21, Panaga. Gandler continues to fight. Vanny Gandler, 19 points today.
By far, he has been the best player for the Super Spikers today. In all the sets that we've played, she has been the most consistent one for Coach Shaq.
Chance here for Creamline. Nierba to Tots. Don, what a chase! Unbelievable. Carlos, rejected. Listen to this crowd.
Can we just give 1 point to Don Katindig? If she wasn't able to save that ball, this would have been over. She is such an agile libero, stretching for that save. A challenge is called by Creamline.
Yeah. So let's try to look for that. Let's look at the. We're gonna try, Neil, to look at that save of Don Makandili Katindig while we're waiting for the result of this net fault challenge, because that was wala na eh, patay na eh. Patay na yung bola eh. And, you know, in the context of the moment pa and the crowd, Daniel, the situation, the move, the crowd, we'll look at that after we decide this net fault challenge. Hopefully we'll get a look at that. Eto muna, there is no touch.
That is clean, no net
No
ball
touch.
there. That's a valid kill block for Vanny
Yes.
Gandler now at 20 points.
Let's look at that while we have time. Coach Sherwin will call timeout. Maybe we can look at this play. Take me through it, Neil. Look at
that left-handed save.
One more.
That's the offhand of Don Katindig.
Look
He
at
was
that.
still able to keep that ball alive.
What a save. What a save. And then the rejection that led to this 23-24 scoreline. Unbelievable action here at the PVL.
Perfect effort! Perfect effort!
Creamline! We were at 24-21. Creamline had 3 match points. Signal has saved a couple. Can they push us to a 5th set?
Can they get another kill block? That's the question. We might see a combination play for Gia de Guzman.
Safe serve. Here comes Gia to Tots. That is out. No touch. We are going to an extension here in set 4.
That's what happens when you win those long rallies. Again, credit Don Katindig for that save.
3-0 run. What will Gel do? Why not go to your leading scorer, Danny Gandler, with a massive swing for set point?
That's an automatic decision for for Gel Cayuna going to Vanny Gandler in a tight situation. In terms of efficiency, siya din yung pinakamataas right now. And she only has 2 options in the front line, so sisigurado na siya sa puntos with a set to the left side.
Great serving by Santos, by the way, here. Gel will go back to Vanny. Don Katindig again. She's there again. Rodriguez with a dig. Valdez.
Oh! Where did that come from? Bea de Leon jumping for a powerful swing off that overpass from Signal.
Absolute madness here in San Juan.
Hindi pa tayo nasa playoffs, ha? Di ba? Wala pa.
Last day pa lang ng preliminaries.
Buckle up, 25 all. That's tough.
Misreceive from Vanny Gandler.
Yes.
Out of system play, binalik sa kanya yung bola na napakataas galing sa likuran. And she lost her footing and lost her timing. There's going to be a challenge from Signal, just a way to halt the momentum of Creamline.
Yeah, kind of calm down the crowd too. It's a net fault challenge. Well within the rules. Signal, no matter what. Let's say this, Neil. They don't need to win today. So this comeback is just in that context. We gotta give it to them. Creamline needs to win to get that number 3 spot. Signal is safely in the top 4, but this bodes well for them moving forward, regardless of how this match ends, because you know there are a lot of lessons from this game.
You want to head into the next round.
Sure.
Nagaling ka sa panalo eh. Antennas will be up, confidence will be sky high. For now, Signal has to get one good pass.
Well,
No net fault there. Obviously,
yeah. Took a chance just to settle down the troops. Match point number 4.
Encarnacion and Katindig have to get a bigger zone so that Vanny Gandler can focus on attacking. Or they can get a free point from Creamline. That's an easier way out. 26 all.
So Signal has been able to save 4 match points here in this set. And by the way, welcome to the late night show.
What? It's already 10 p.m.?
I don't know. I was not looking at the clock at all when you're watching a game like this. Dawn with a pickup. Encarnacion with a swing. Dawn will go back to Gandler. That's in!
The clutch gene in Vanny Gandler is showing today.
22 points for Vanny Gandler.
Saving multiple match points.
Set point Signal. And a chance for them to attack. Carlos with a pickup. Jewel again. And we're going to a fifth. We are going to a fifth. Signal stayed strong. Sabi ni Eric Anil, kapit. At yan ang ginawa nila, and they push it to a fifth setter. We will be back. Back inside the arena in San Juan. We are going, Neil, to the 11th fifth setter of the All-Filipino Conference, courtesy of an undescribable set number 4. What grit and comeback by Signal.
It's a 10 sets kind of day for me. But we love it because it's really action-packed. Set number 4, lalo na sa dulo, I would have to give credit to Dawn Katindig. She knows the strong angles ng outside hitters, ng Creamline, nakapwesto na siya, didn't even have to move.
Right.
And she saved a lot of balls, and let's also add the fact that Jewel Encarnacion came clutch as she scored the final point, 6 points for the second stringer of Coach Shaq De Los Santos.
Let's go to Franny Reyes right now.
Boom and Neil, and all our PVL fans, if you enjoyed all the action you're seeing tonight, don't forget to vote on pvl.ph/allstar to vote for your favorite PVL stars on May 1 for the Volleyball All-Star Showcase. Now let's talk about these two teams. Signal, a team that needs to reconnect, be able to play together and gel with one another if they want to get past Creamline, but Creamline needing to dig deeper, rely on each other, and go back to their values, remembering who they are and the kind of team they are. Both teams could take this. This game could go any way to end the preliminary round. So let's begin the fifth set.
We hope the crowd drowning out Franny Reyes there. And I hope our audience, our TV audience, heard what she said, but she's setting us up for this set number 5. The 11th time we're going to a fifth set. An incredible first 2 sets by Signal. an almost perfect third set by Signal. Oh, sorry, an incredible 2 sets by Creamline, an almost perfect third set by Signal, and a horrible start by Signal in the 4th, but showing yung tawag natin kapit talaga. And you know, the bench, by the way, of Signal has also really contributed. Pangilinan, you know, Encarnacion, C, right?
Hats off also to Coach Shaq de los Santos for the rotation of players. Going to be sprint to the finish line. Erica Santos will get the first point for the Super Spikers.
Signal looking to stay sharp and looking to spoil the Creamline party. And Neil, explain why that statement has to make sense.
All right, now that we're in a different situation, dalawa na lang yung options for Creamline. They win or they lose.
Right.
If they lose this match, matatanggal sila sa top 4. Next leg will move to the next round as the 4th seed. The Cool Smashers will drop to 5th place.
Right. And be part of all the madness of the play-in. Now, also, Neil, salute to our TV audience and our audience here at the arena for really, nobody has left their seat in this almost 10 p.m. game.
We started the day with a 5-set match in the UAAP. We're going to end with a 5-set match in the PVL.
What a day for the lovely sport of volleyball. Thoughts down the line, pick up by Dawn. Atienza does the same. Coverage by Rodriguez.
Tots Carlos has been checked at the net.
That's Vanny again, partner.
Almost at 25 points. Or lampas na ba? 23.
By the way, also hats off to Dawn. She really has given them multiple chances to either keep that ball alive or even to attack.
Gia de Guzman is looking at Eliza Valdez.
Eliza will try again. She will not be denied.
Not the second time. Now that Tots Carlos is getting blocked by Fanny Gandler, Gia de Guzman has to find other attackers to score for Creamline.
2-all, 5th set. Chance ball here for Signal. Vanny's asking for it, but it is Doria Aquino who gets it. That's a very tight set. That's going to go out. Vanny Gandler evading that ball. How did she do it? Oh, no. Gia de Guzman is down. Our captain of the national team pointing at her knee. Remember, as Franny mentioned in our pregame, knee issues for Gemma Galanza and Bernadette Pons. Feeling her knee there, Gia de Guzman is trying to. Her husband Miguel also here in attendance. As Gia will walk to the bench, she is grimacing in pain. The eight-time best setter will have to sit this one out, and you don't want to venture a guess, but probably will sit this 5th set out first, as another 4-time best setter, Kyle Negrito, will take over.
We're hoping that it's nothing serious. There wasn't any twist from dun sa movement niya. Pero parang bumagsak siya dun sa right knee niya when she tried to cover.
And this is a good sign that she, you know, she's walking assisted lightly. Remember, she injured herself also early in the season. She wanted to rest after that little injury. So 3-2 is our score. The one blemish of this game so far that has been played so beautifully.
Ball was kept alive by Don Katindig. She was asking for support from her teammates, but Signal was slow to react. So sayang yung save from the libero of the Super Spikers.
Gandler with a good first ball. How about this girl, Jewel Encarnacion, coming up big.
She's not giving any easy balls to the defense of Creamline. You can see the power in her hits. It's very convincing. She wants to break the block. She wants to challenge the line or go sharp or deep on the cross.
Yeah. Valdez with a block breaker.
Time for Eliza Valdez to carry this team. Teams are just exchanging points.
Jewel again! Ho ho! That is unreturnable for Jewel Encarnacion.
Back-to-back points for Jewel Encarnacion. Again, taking advantage dun sa seam ng block ng Creamline.
Exchange here. Rodriguez set back, turned away. She will try again. Not this time. Net defense and a 2-point lead by Signal.
They heard us. We were looking for the numbers in their net defense. Nakikita na natin yun here in the fifth set. 2-point advantage for the Super Spikers, pushing for that reverse sweep.
Carlos and Negrito looking at each other. And a 3-point lead. Coach Sherwin, who looked like he was cruising to a win. And right now under the gun, down 3. High ball for Creamline. Kyle to Rodriguez with a hit out.
Break point for the Cool Smashers. They're still down by 2 points. They can't be stuck in certain rotations. Eight points for Bea de Leon, built off 5 attacks and 3 blocks.
2-point lead by Signal. Santos. Ooh, those were the errors that she had early in this match.
Quick instructions from Don Katindig. Kind of felt like nag-ingat si Erica Santos in that last hit. Sabi ni Don, yun nga, just keep on going for it. You haven't got blocked by the defense of Creamline.
Yun yung mga first set Erica Santos, di ba kanina? Carlos with coverage. Rodriguez. Encarnacion with coverage. Vanny from behind. Babalik sa Signal. Cayuna goes to Jewel Encarnacion, who really sold that swing so well, and then showing her soft side with that touch. 8-6 is our score here. Let's go to Franny Reyes real quick.
Bumanil, I just came from Gia de Guzman. She's currently icing her knee. Her husband, Miguel de Guzman, is with her. Gia gave me a smile, although her knee is still under assessment after what we saw happen inside the court. So we should wait for further updates from Gia and the Creamline Cool Smashers. Back to you, Bumanil.
Thank you very much. Like I said, the one blemish, Franny, in what has been, well, we can say, a perfect game. And I use that word just in terms of how, the word I'm thinking is gladiatorial this match has been. We have a timeout here.
para matulungan si Dix dito. Bang, sandake ha. Macro doon, macro. Dahan-dahan lang tayo, dahan-dahan. Pag mabalo yung kampi natin, dahan-dahan lang sa cover. Then recycle ulit. Okay, let's go.
Let's go! Hey, one, Creamline! So many standout performances on both ends. Those girls on your screens, Valdez and Rodriguez have been spectacular. And then you have Gandler and Dawn and Jewel and Erin at some points. Kayuna, by the way, has been tremendous too. It's the kind of match that really, it's an incredible privilege to watch and a privilege to do in the case of me and Neil and Franny. It's such a pleasure when you have high quality volleyball like this. And we roll on as Rodriguez goes for that power dump.
It's not the perfect passing game for the outside hitters of Creamline today, pero nababawi nila sa attacking department. Now they're just down by a single point. 3 hitters for Creamline, also 3 hitters for the Super Spikers.
Gandler again, dug by Eliza. Didge. Erica saying that is a net block. But Coach Shaq looks like they're going to go for a timeout. Yeah, they'll go for a timeout.
Okay muna. All pa lang yan. All ha. Stop muna tayo. 1 point muna tayo. Kuha tayo sa 1 point. Okay?
Coach! Alam natin saan tayo napupuntusan. Paano natin siya i-reps? Okay? Tara. Side out tayo sa... Ready?
Ay, tagala.
Ready kami sa cross, ha? Okay, let's go. Commit lang sa line. Sikat!
We're in the middle, Neil, of a 4-1 run. Creamline run, rather, just to be precise. 2-all, 8-all in the 5th. And another classic presented to you by the Premier Volleyball League. Oh, an over-receive. Oh, but it's back to Signal. Gandler. Valdez playing defense. Rodriguez playing offense. Back to Vanny. Oh, it drops in. Dawn Katindig hesitated in that sequence. Look at her.
That was very clear. It looked like it was going to drop outside, but general rule, if you're not sure, just get that ball.
It's 5-1 run now. For those who just tuned in, Gia de Guzman going down on an apparent leg injury. We don't know the status. She walked off on her own with a little bit of assistance.
Fast side out there.
Kyle Negrito will finish this match for Creamline, which, by the way, she has done hundreds of times also in all of their championship runs.
That's why she's a 4-time best setter in the league.
9-all here. Pangilinan sends it to Nierva. Carlos. Kept alive by Signal. Gandler will send the free ball to Creamline. Negrito will choose Carlos. And Carlos chooses violence.
That's the right swing for Tots Carla. She was checked a lot at the start on the right side. Nag-adjust lang ng konting Creamline. Put her on the left side so that she can have a different set of angles to choose from. Now Eliza Valdez is in the front line for the Cool Smashers.
Carlos with 10 points. Valdez is in front. Creamline. Neil was down 2. Now they're up 2, and Coach Shaq will call for time.
Usap muna ulit kayo. Usap. Gawa kayo ng ano? Gawa ng plano ulit.
Gusto mo mag-dress? Okay. Tinatawahan na eh, dalawa. Oo. Gusto mo mag-dress? Okay. Hindi. Pag binigyan tayo ni Angel, commit tayo, lahat tayo cover, okay? Let's go! Sigan!
Well, listen to the Creamline crowd. Trying to will their team, not only to win tonight, trying to will their team into the top 4.
Pag nasa harapan si Rose Doria at katabi niya si Erica Santos, mas mataas yung chance nila na nakakuha ng mataas na rebound. So for the defenders of Signal, they have to extend that backcourt defense if they want to transition.
You hear the response.
Alam mo na agad kung ano nangyari. Liza Valdez scoring a crucial point to establish a 3-point lead against Signal.
Decibel levels on the rise here in San Juan. Gandler is not done yet. Manny Gandler with 24 points, breaking that 6-1 Creamline run. Look at that.
Only a single blocker against Vanny Gandler on the combination play. Extra effort is what Creamline needs. Even if you feel that you're already late for the double block, pag kumombinasyon na yung Signal, you have to jump.
Remember, Signal was down 3 late, 24-21 in the 4th set, Neil. And they're trying to mount another comeback.
2 straight points for the Super Spikers. This is what happened to Creamline in that 3rd set. They had a couple of match points, but they also committed unforced errors. 4th set, rather.
Good serve! That's a great serve by C. Combination play is denied!
Probably a bit too low for Vanny Gandler's liking.
That might be a big point. 13-11. Aaliyah Torres right behind her, watching Galanza. Lazaro. The elevator. Ball's in play. And Gandler with 25 massive points.
Sakit sa ulo ni Vanny Gandler today for Creamline.
She is not done. It has been a masterpiece of a game for Vanny.
She has the Midas touch right now for the Super Spikers.
Valdez with the tip. Oh, that might be costly. Signal is back in it again. 13 all.
There's no script to this match. 2-point lead, 3-point lead, doesn't matter. Both teams always on a comeback trail.
Pushing each other to the extreme.
Dala kang bola. Ha? Diskarte ka. Kahit kanina yan, pwede. Ha? Hindi na sa... Eh! Walang isipin natin. Papasok tayo ng maganda. Papupunta sa gitna. Ganun na kasimple. Okay?
Let's go, ate!
One Creamline! Spike of the set brought to you by Duncan, pasalubong ng bayan. Vanny Gandler has been spanking that ball with authority today. 4-1 run by Signal. 2 all, 2 sets all, 13 all. The 11th, 5th set of the All-Filipino Conference. Carlos.
It takes guts to go for a drop ball. Most of the time, coaches would ask for convincing powerful hits from their attackers. But that drop ball worked for Tots Carlos. Now, they're at match point, but there's a challenge from Signal, a floor touch challenge.
And you know, Neil, what this is probably. Remember, this will be now the 5th match point of the game, going back to set number 4.
Yeah, that's clear.
That's why I said, you know why Coach Shaq called that challenge, just to ice that server just an extra 30 seconds.
For Tots Carlos, she just needs to put that serve in so that they can get a chance to defend that net.
14-13, 5th match point. Gandler with a great receive there. Setting up Encarnacion, who says, we are not done yet. 14 all.
I am impressed by the performance of Jewel Encarnacion. Fighting spirit up top.
You know, this is what the PVL is all about. You find gems every now and then in the toughest of matches, Neil. Lalong Isip was also a gem that they found as she serves it to Valdez. They're going to challenge this too. Seemingly in, but a challenge by Signal. A ball in, ball out.
They're exhausting all of their challenges in the hopes of forcing an error sa service ng Creamline.
6 match points is what Creamline has had here. And possibly one of the best volleyball matches of 2026 so far in any league.
That's clearly inside. That's the first point of Kyle Negrito.
You're right. On the 1-2 play. We've had some great volleyball matches this year. I don't know. This is definitely a candidate for match of the year so far. Valdez with the sixth match point. Sharp serve. Encarnacion. And that's it! Creamline wins the match in 5 brutal sets. It is a gladiatorial combat disguised as a volleyball match. That's what it is tonight here. Jewel Encarnacion checked at the net, and Creamline earned this one, Neil.
Bea De Leon saved the day with that final blow against Jewel Encarnacion. Double block well established for Creamline, and that's it. The final 4 is complete. The top 4 after the first round.
It's the confirmation of the win on your screens on the big board. 25-19, 25-20 for Creamline, 25-15, 28-26 for Signal, and 16-14 for Creamline at the 5th. 2 teams redlining for a win here today. We'll take a break. We'll be back to wrap this baby up. celebration continues here on the floor as again the final tally on your screens. Look at that score. Look at those scores, really. Two teams giving incredible entertainment to everybody here at the arena. And Franny Reyes is with our player of the match.
You can hear the crowd chant. Your player of the game is Eliza Valdez. At Eli, a triple-double for you. 22 points, 13 excellent receptions, 13 excellent digs. Kamusta naman yung latter part ng stats? Okay naman sa'yo?
Wow, it was very exciting towards the latter part of the game. And, you know, during those kind of moments, syempre, sobrang, as an athlete, you just want to finish and finish it well. So, yeah.
Gaano ka-importante naman ang teamwork for this team? It was an all-around game for everyone. Everyone contributed. It reached 5 sets, but what a 5 sets this was for Creamline.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say we work with what we have right now. And lagi nire-remind sa amin since perfect effort lang ang kaya namin ibigay. And with that, grabe yung teamwork din. And grabe yung binigay ng lahat ng tao. Nasa loob man, nasa labas. And yung mga nagre-recover. And our management, grabe yung support nila. So we're very, very, very lucky to have them.
Now, Creamline has entered the qualifiers. What's next for Creamline? Paano kayo magpe-prepare for the next part of this conference?
What's next? Well, definitely we'll still have to work harder, better, and polish a lot of things pa from this game. So I think it's really just the maturity of the team. We have to siguro try to keep going even if the going gets tough talaga.
All right, Atalay, San Juan City is roaring for you tonight. Anyone you want to greet, anyone you want to thank, go ahead.
Sa lahat po ng sumusuporta sa Creamline, maraming salamat po kasi manalo, matalo, andito tayong lahat. Lalaban tayo hanggang sa dulo at sana ipagdasal niyo po yung buong team namin. And to our management, to Sir Toribesco family, Sir Jonathan, Miss Cathy, Sir Alan Momlesan, Alliance, World Balance, Hello Money, Bello Andox, Salon Tires, and to everyone, to my family also, happy birthday. Happy birthday to my Lola. And maraming salamat po sa pagsuporta niyo po sa PVL. Thank you. See you all next game.
Thank you so much, Eliza. Once again, your player of the game, Boom and Neil. Let's close this volleyball day out.
Do you really want to, Franny? Let's keep going. Come on, let's go. I don't, you know, if Eliza is running for office, I'm definitely going to vote for her with the way she's campaigning for herself here today. What an incredible run by both Creamline and Signal. And there you go, the top 4, Neil.
This is the final seeding as we head into the next round. Creamline will be seated at the number 3 spot. So Signal pa rin yung makakalaban nila in the qualifying round. The winners will move on to the semifinals. That should be a good one.
Hindi masaya. Farm Fresh and PLDT, of course. And then this is the play-in cast. Yan magkakarambola for, you know, for them to go through to meet everybody else in the semifinals. Play-ins and the step ladder. Go ahead.
Going to be a step ladder format. You can already see the pairings: Capital One versus Galleries, Chocomucho versus Zeus. The winners of those teams will go out against Nexted and Akari respectively. And dun pa nila kakalabanin yung mga malalaglag dun sa qualifying round. And in the semifinals, it is going to be a single round robin format. All win-loss cards will be reset. So there is more volleyball to be played. The top 2 teams will fight for the gold and the other 2 teams will battle for the bronze medal. Best of 3 series yan as always. So I just know we will have more intense games, more 5-setters,
yes,
and more late night shows in the PVL.
Yeah, this was not the finals. We're still on the road to the finals. We appreciate you guys hanging out with all of us tonight, as this is the schedule with the play-in start. So the Solar Spikers and Galleries Tower High Risers who met earlier today will meet again. Chocomucho and Zeus will also see each other on Tuesday. What a day it has been. We say a prayer also for Gia de Guzman, who who went down to injury earlier, and hopefully she will be okay in what has been such a perfectly played game between Creamline and Signal. And that will do it for us. Today, we complete the cast for the top 4, Capital One winning, Farm Fresh winning, and Creamline winning. For Franny Reyes, Neil Flores, I'm Boom Gonzalez. We say good night for the late night show here in Volleyball Central at the Arena in San Juan.